Steaks can come in all shapes and sizes. Beef can be so expensive, in fact, that whole cows often sell for over $30,000. I don't even think cameraman Manny is worth $30,000.
Hey.
That's why today, I wanna see what the differences are between a $1 steak and a $350 steak. And yes, you heard me right. I actually went out and bought a single steak that cost me $350 just for this video. And I do stuff like that all the time, so go down and smack that subscribe button before you forget. Also, don't forget to toss a like on the video. But first, do we have any idea what those differences might be? Well, aside from the fact that one is from Japan and one probably from somewhere in the US, we know they'll probably come from different sections of the cow. Allow me to demonstrate on Manny. The middle section of the cow is where... The middle section of the cow is where all that best marbled meat is. All right, get off the table. Move. So that means our Dollar Tree steak will likely come from elsewhere, probably around the hind legs of the cow where all that muscle is and the meat is tougher. And of course, there are many other factors. Think diet, where in the world it comes from, the actual supply. For instance, there's only 2 briskets in an entire cow. So we have to think about a little bit of everything here. Now, my steak from Japan is already here and I have an entire info packet with all this information about the meat, given how expensive it is. This is information to validate the fact that this meat is what it says it is. And this right here is a Kobe ribeye. It's essentially the best of the best when it comes to Wagyu. But since we already have our $350 steak, let's head to the dollar store and grab our $1 steak. We are now pulling up, and as you can see off to my left, we have Family Dollar, where we're gonna be getting our steak today. I didn't even think steak could cost $1 or less for that matter, but this apparently does. Manny, your car's here. So our big priority right now is obviously to find that $1 steak, and I don't know where it is. So apparently this is the only steak that we've got right now, and it's $1.60 for this Salisbury steak. But we're now also gonna head to Dollar Tree because they said they might actually have better steaks there, and we're looking for the best $1 steak we can get. Thank you so much. As we're leaving Family Dollar, I just want to say that those were probably, wouldn't you agree, Manny, some of the nicest store employees I've ever met?
100%. They were so nice.
All of them came to help us find the cheapest steak in there. Just a swarm of them around us. Every worker in the store was helping us, right?
Yeah.
I love that. But they suggested we actually go to their competitor, Dollar Tree, because apparently they actually have a $1 steak that's supposedly a little bit better. So let's go. I actually want a genuine, real steak to work with here. I know we're probably not gonna get anything crazy with the budget of just $1, but that store owner in there really seemed to think that Dollar Tree had a really solid $1 steak. So let's find out if he was right. We are approaching the tree. I wanna know what a $1 steak looks like. In fact, I wanna know what a good $1 steak looks like. I feel like we're in luck here, Manny. Okay, so we're coming back with this steak. This is less than $1. And I think the coolest part is that it still has the bone in, which has that extra flavor. So who knows, maybe this has an upper hand on that Wagyu. You wanna be on the video?
You're in the video.
Sure.
Hell yeah. Guess what we're doing today? We're cooking a $1 steak, and then we're cooking a $300 steak.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's
So
very
you'll
cool.
see the video, and then you'll be in it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I was like, I know him. I saw him somewhere. I'm like, where did I saw him?
Now you know what we're doing. Which steak do you think is gonna win?
I think Dollar Tree one's gonna win. The $1
Alright.
one.
I love it. Thank you. Let me just tell you, you enter Dollar Tree with a couple of bucks, you are a king in there. Not only did I get a steak that actually looks kind of solid, I got this. It's a lollipop with a face on it. I guess my point is we might be doing videos at Dollar Tree more often because I am telling you right now, you go into that place and you're a king. I mean, it's the best thing ever. And everybody in there is so incredibly nice. I used to shop there as a kid non-stop, and I haven't for a while, but this is fantastic. And I've had a reawakening. By the way, we've already got one vote for the $1 steak winning over the $350 Wagyu from Japan. And we have no votes right now for the Wagyu from Japan, so let's see what happens. I'm actually really curious now. Time to get back home and start cooking. Manny, that's literally gonna be you like next year. Now that we're back, I want to remind you that we're literally looking at the difference between a $1 and $350 steak, which means we could have 350 of these as opposed to the one right here. But like I said in the store, I'm really happy that the bone is still in this cut of meat right here. Bone-in can often cost even more than regular meat, given that that bone carries all sorts of flavor. Then here we have our Kobe Wagyu ribeye, which of course doesn't have a bone, so again, maybe this will have less flavor than the other piece that we have next to us. But I first want to look at those certificates to make sure that this is exactly what it says it is, because we spent a lot of money on this. So first things first, right as I open it up, you can see there are all sorts of certificates here. I mean, evidently, this is even showing the actual guy who prepared this meat. I don't know if he was the one handling the cow or he was the one that cut it and butchered and killed the cow. Is he the imposter? But right here is the document that I've been looking for. This is the traceability to make sure that this is certified genuine Wagyu beef from Japan. And it's got everything down to the nose print of the cow. I wonder what the cow thinks when they put ink all over its nose and make it press its face into this form here. But at least we know that this stuff is legit. While I'm not using it for this video, I also ordered some olive Wagyu, which is often said to be the best beef in the world. And these certificates look totally different, but are also just as gorgeous. But at this point, I think we've proven that this right here is legit. So it's time to open our meat up and take a bit of a closer look. At first glance on this Wagyu, I hope you can tell just how gorgeous this is. I mean, this right here is probably the nicest cut of beef you've probably ever looked at in your entire life. And me too. For just this piece of meat right here, you could instead get a nice used car. Which one are you gonna pick? That brings us over to our other cut of meat. It's actually a surprisingly nice cut, at least relative to how much we paid for it. It's just such a clean cut, and you could probably tell me this cost more like $10, and I'd probably believe you. You'll notice right away how thin both of these cuts are, and that's because of how rich and fatty this Kobe beef really is. This cut, on the other hand, is very thin, but purely because of the fact that we only paid $1 for it. I'm not gonna make you wait anymore. Let's cook these up and try them out. Before we cook, because I wanna keep everything very even, I wanna trim off our ribeye cap. That way, this whole piece right here will fit into the pan perfectly. So I'll loosely trim all the way around this piece right here, and as you can see, it cuts like butter. Then we'll peel off that cap, which of course we'll save for later, and then we'll hit it with just a little bit of Osmo. We're only gonna put salt on each of these cuts here, because with Wagyu, that's all you ever wanna put. And I can't be seasoning this other cut of meat here like crazy. After we've seasoned both sides, we're ready to cook. First things first, let's add a touch of oil, and once that's nice and hot, in we go with our low budget steak. I'm not gonna lie, that smells absolutely horrendous. Oh my god, you smell that? It smells real bad. Look how gray it is. At this point, our steak is done. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really happy with that golden brown char we got on the edges, but that was one of the most disgusting smells of meat I have ever come across in a kitchen. And I'm not just saying that because this thing cost $1. That was disgusting. Now for something a bit more exciting, our Wagyu. First, let's take a small piece of the fat off the ribeye cap and gently rub this around the pan to get that pan nice and well oiled. Don't worry, I've cleaned it thoroughly from our other piece of meat. And once that pan begins to smoke, in we go with our Wagyu. I'll press this down to the start to make sure we get an even crust on the bottom side. Now that is a good smell. And just a few moments later, it's time to flip. And as you can see, we got that nice golden brown crust that we were looking for. You can look right away at the massive difference in how much fat has come off this piece of Wagyu compared to our other cut of meat. But at this point, it's time to set it aside. Since you got to look at the before, here's a simple comparison of the after. This one over here is much more gray and overall a sadder looking piece of meat. I will be totally honest that this right here doesn't exactly look like $350, but I'm hopeful that when we go to actually taste this, we'll understand. First, I'll cut around our $1 piece of meat and then into a few strips. You can see here that there's really not much to it. And honestly, I'm not very excited to try this one out. Now let's come over to the Wagyu, which is just begging to be sliced open. It may be hard to see on camera, but there's just a very slight amount of pinkness in there. The hard part about cooking a piece of Wagyu this thin is trying to get that nice perfect crust while also keeping that interior nice and juicy. But given all the fat in here, keeping it juicy is actually not very difficult. Because it lost so much salt during the cooking process, I'll sprinkle on just a bit more, and we are finally ready to taste. Who will win? $1 or $350? The time has come to finally try this. I am so excited, but I'm also so nervous. In one corner, we have this beautifully cooked piece of Wagyu with that nice pink center and that crispy, crusty char on the outside. In the other corner, we have this. I was gonna try to use some words to hype it up, but there are none. I think it's only fair that we go ahead with our $1 selection first. So down the hatch it goes. Okay, wait, hold on. I sort of figured I would say it tastes bad, but it's funny, I was wrong. It tastes like absolute shit. It tastes the way it looks. Bland and gray and a little bit sad. And you know me, I want to be totally honest with my food reviews. So I will say this. The shape of the cut was gorgeous. The meat itself actually looked okay, but when it came down to the smell and the taste, I simply could not get past it. That brings us over to the Wagyu, which I am very excited for. But it begs the question, is every single bite worth $25? That to me is hard to justify. So in we go. I want to take another bite. As you can maybe tell, I have no words. Manny, go ahead.
Oh my god.
It's just next level. Here's the honest breakdown about our $350 Wagyu. Could you eat it every day? Absolutely not. Could I even eat that whole piece myself? Definitely not. But does every shiny, beautiful piece melt in your mouth? 100% yes. And it really is something special. So with that being said, today, I think we have crowned a winner. The $350 Wagyu has officially pounded the $1 piece of meat into the ground. If you like this challenge, let me know below and I'll try to think of more. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and I'll see you next time.